If you've been watching the US dollar, I've got some very important stuff to talk to you about today in terms of trade setups. So if you look at things like USDCAD, EURUSD, pound dollar, and gold, we are talking all about it today in today's video. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you're doing well. Today we're talking about the US dollar, and I want to look at the DXY here for a moment. So let's actually switch views a little bit. All right, and we're looking at the US dollar here on the daily chart, by the way, you guys. And I want to scroll out here and show you guys something. If we just apply some moving averages, you can see that the dollar is still very much a bullish market, right? If we apply these moving averages, we've got the 20, the 50, and the 100 SMA. Maybe we can just pop up some text right with each one so people can see that. But again, the 20, the 50, and the 100 SMA are still kind of in play. Now, the DXY today specifically touched something that I want to talk about very importantly, which is this 100 simple moving average on the daily chart. It's nothing magical. It's not gonna, make you a bazillionaire. I mean, maybe it will. We'll see. But the idea here being, we pulled back to this level today and immediately found some buying pressure, despite retail sales coming out today a little bit less than expected. Let's pop up the figures on what we saw today, and you can see there was a disappointment in retail sales, which caused some volatility on the dollar. But despite that, we're still seeing some dollar strength come into the market today. Now, I want to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that despite this thing, selling off and having good reason to do so with inflation concerns and Jerome Powell sounding a little bit dovish to Congress, there's some good reasons for this sell-off, but I'm going to go out on a whim today and say we may have just seen the bottom of this move form. Of course, I could be completely wrong about this, and people will let me know on YouTube every time I'm wrong, trust me.
And yes, we will.
But I think that there's a possibility that we may have just found support at that 100 SMA and that there could be some good setups to go off of that. Let's go take a look at some individual pairs to see what may come into play. Now, EURUSD, I have no interest. I want to short this thing. I really do, but I've got to short it at a level that I like. We're not at the 100 on this one. We're not in resistance, which I've talked about in previous videos. So there's nothing for me here. So just an update on EURUSD. I have no position on it, and I am still waiting. If I'm wrong about this today, if the dollar kind of continues to plummet and falls, then of course I will look for the breakout here to the upside and look to try and fade and get a better shorting premium option on that 1.155 mark that we've talked about pretty much all week this week. So that's the idea on EURUSD. We'll take a look at pound dollar. Also not one that I'm super interested in shorting because the pound is very strong right now. But I talked about this one on stream today. This one at least shows a lot of momentum to the upside. So probably not the one that I would look at most for dollar long trade setups. Now, here's one that I do like, dollar yen. So dollar yen, still a very strong upward trend on this market. You can see overall a nice series of higher highs, and we have not really formed a lower low at this point. We are still seeing demand come into this market, and we're still kind of maintaining the integrity of these moving averages that we just applied on the chart. So you can see the 20 and the 50 and the 100 still looking fairly strong here to the upside, despite the recent breakout to the downside there. I still think that you've got that 100 SMA just down below, and we came into support this morning and found buyers pretty aggressively so far. Again, by the time you see this video, this could have completely erased, but despite that, I think that there are two support levels to watch for dollar yen, being at this 113 and 113.5. So both levels look like interesting buying points in my personal opinion. Please remember, don't go put your money on this just because I talked about it. Do your own homework, do your due diligence, as disclaimed down below in the description disclaimer. Like, you need to be careful when you place trades. Have a good reason that you come up with, as always. But with that said, I do like dollar yen on the pullback here today. As it starts to near some levels of support in the context of an overall uptrend, it is starting to catch my eye for possible buy setups. Next, we'll take a look at AUDUSD, which is already rejecting a little bit here on the pullback. Let's draw some fibs and just see where we're at with this on the higher time frames. You can see we just touched the 50% retracement and seem to have found some resistance here, potentially kind of doing a little bit of a double top fake out here as we tried to break the move here, and then basically we rejected that pretty quickly and sold back in today. If the idea here, right, at the 50% retracement, if this fails here, it very well could kind of meander its way back down to this kind of counter trend limit, which let me actually go ahead and define that. On the daily chart, you've got something like this, right? where we have been seeing those higher lows come into this market, which is, that's a bullish thing for the Aussie dollar. However, we're still in the context, I would argue, of a longer term downward trend on this market. So if there is failure, don't count the dollar out just yet. If we do see a breakout here to the downside, it's possible we could see something like this. And maybe next week, there is some plays on the Aussie dollar, resuming the long-term downward trend that we've seen. Also, look at the 100 SMA on the Aussie dollar. Beautiful rejection there. If you've been looking for an opportunity to short the Aussie dollar, then you shoulda, coulda, woulda sold it up there at 72, whatever, right? 72.86. I'm kind of joking, right? We don't respect hindsight trading here. We're all about that, forward thinking and planning on this channel. But of course, that was a beautiful entry in hindsight. Ideally, the price came up to that 50%. You had the 100 SMA on the daily chart, and nice resistance there as it double topped and rejected off of that pin bar. So beautiful little sell opportunities. It's looking good for a start to the move, and we'll see if it can continue to maintain that strength. Dollar Swiss, this is a really interesting one. I was really looking at this one closely. If you're looking at Dollar Swiss, so it came down to the bottom of this longer term range, and this range, you guys, we've been stuck in this thing for a very long time. I have not been trading this pair just because of its super choppy nature right now. Nothing trending, just kind of staying flat for a long period of time. And so despite that, if you like trading ranges, I wanted to include this in today's analysis because that 91.10 level, right? This zone here has held so strong. The question is, can it find yet another chance to buy? And the thing is, when you get these longer term levels, sure, if it continues to just never make it out of anywhere, it could very well break out of this level eventually. But for the time being, what we're seeing is just strong rallies off of this level in a choppy, range-bound market. And so that does kind of add to the possibility of a kind of an extended move to the downside. And now, those kind of periodical longer-term range traders may just be looking at this and being like, oh, there's another opportunity. We'll buy this and try and make some money on the way back up. So we'll see. Dollar Swiss is not my most interesting pair by any means. I am more interested in things like maybe dollar CAD, which is moving very aggressively. Now, dollar CAD, I pointed this out on stream today. The technicals here look very interesting. They're kind of conflicted, right? If I look at this thing, dollar CAD has been a very hot topic for the channel. We've had a lot of people asking about this one. And so when I look at dollar CAD, here's the issue that I see. On dollar CAD, we did kind of have a beautiful reversal pattern play out. We saw the left shoulder, the head of this, and the right shoulder on a head and shoulders pattern. In fact, let me see if I can use the patterns that TradingView so kindly has for us. We'll take a look here. For example, there's your left shoulder, right? There's your head, and we'll go ahead and put in the right shoulder there. So the thing about this is it kind of put in the head and shoulders pattern idea, right? The idea being this lower high signaling a possible reversal of the trend. But more importantly to me than just a lower high here, which is great, was actually this candle here. The breakout of this range and kind of finding a reversal, full circle, right? You get the head and shoulders pattern, but then you also get the breakout. And then now, there was opportunities for continuation. So I think that dollar CAD, despite it being a very popular crowd buy, right? We talked about this on stream today. Check this out. We go to forex sentiment. We'll just refresh this page. Go down to dollar CAD. Take a look at this. Dollar CAD, 87% of retail traders are buying the dip on dollar CAD. And the reason I say that is because it's not that it can't go up from here. It's just that, being aware of what, the average trader is doing should have you a little bit concerned, right? Because I'm not going to go buying this pair specifically, even though I am bullish on the dollar. I don't love dollar CAD because I think CAD strength could actually kind of continue here. And if anything, if the dollar has any hiccup, this thing could very quickly evaporate down to levels like 1.235. So that's my thoughts on dollar CAD. I'm not really bullish or bearish on this pair, to be honest. I am still kind of just mixed sentiment, but I just wanted to warn people who were looking at dollar CAD, just be aware the retail crowd is very popular to the buy side of this. They're buying and trying to hold on to this thing. But to be fair, they didn't buy here. They bought like up here, right? And we could actually back that up with stats. Let's go look at that one more time and go grab the average entry for retail traders. The average entry on a long position is 1.268. We'll copy that over, and I'm going to just grab a horizontal line. So by the way, you guys can get that information anytime you'd like from our website over there on a1trading.com. Okay, so the average retail trader, the red line, we'll make it blue since it's a buy.
Make it blue.
The average retail trader bought on the blue line. So you can kind of see that's been, a painful trade for a lot of retail traders stuck in a buy position and kind of hoping and praying that it will continue to, or that it will come back and save them, right? But as we so often know, what retail traders will tend to do is they'll hold on to losses for a very long time, hoping and praying that the market eventually reverses. And then when it doesn't, it goes and blows accounts and things like that. So we got to be very careful that we're not just kind of like trading with the crowd there. I would say that, with such a bullish bias on CAD from retail traders, it's a little bit concerning for possible continuation plays. So that's my thoughts there on CAD. All right, next up, we're going to take a look at XAUUSD here, which is a very popular topic on the channel. People keep asking about it on these streams, as they usually do, but very specifically interesting recently because inflation concerns are kind of front and center right now. But despite inflation concerns being high, we have not seen gold be able to break out of this. This actually has me kind of like, okay, I think we could see some bullishness for the dollar come in. We've been sitting at resistance for several days now. You can see gold kind of topping out here at that 1830 mark and not able to break it. What you would think is that if inflation concerns were like really dramatic right now, we'd probably see this thing breaking out, right? Since inflation is supposedly, it is high, right? Inflation in the US is at 7%. That is very high. If we were really expecting like major forward-thinking inflation concerns, we'd probably expect the gold market to break out big time at 1830, but that's not quite what we're seeing just yet. So until that happens, I'm hesitant on a bullish theory on gold. I think that inflation concerns, should the Fed actually do what they've kind of been planning and what many financial analysts are forecasting, higher rate hikes and tapering continuations and stuff like that, that should, in theory, we'll see if it works, should work to combat that inflation concern, which is probably why gold is not skyrocketing. You probably have a lot of traders who are like, or a lot of big time institutional investors and things like that who are like, okay, well, the gold long seems possibly stretched because, again, if the Fed acts on their behaviors or their plans, it could very well serve to strengthen the dollar, stop that inflation concern in its tracks, and eventually kind of cause gold to lose its glimmer, if you will. Wow, that was some beautiful wording. Gold glimmer, you get it, right? It's shiny, or at least, sometimes the shine can run out if things are not. You get what I'm saying.
You lost me. What?
If this video was helpful to you, do me a quick favor. These videos take us a lot of work to make and create and publish to YouTube for you guys. If you enjoy them, support myself and the team behind me doing these videos, and just hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new to it. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.